Welcome to another edition of Comet Algebra. This video is for Algebra 1, Chapter 1, Section 3, Adding Rational Numbers. Now, rational numbers include all positive and negative numbers, all fractions, and all decimals. And a review is that you need common denominators to add and subtract fractions. Now, you learned this way back in 3rd or 4th grade, but it bears repeating. So when you add positive and negative numbers, there are some rules, but I would rather you use your logic and intellect. You can compare them to adding money and taking money out of an account. We use kind of a silly good guys, bad guys analogy when we talk about this in class. Kind of depending on what works for you. In example 1 here, we have 3 plus a negative 8. If you had $3 in your checking account and you spent 8, and the bank would let you do this, and then they would give you a nice $25 fee, they would let you go in the hole. If you only had $3 and you spent 8, now you are in the hole $5. And the silly analogy we use, if 3 good guys run into 8 bad guys, and 3 good guys kill off 3 bad guys and vice versa, you're left with 5 bad guys. Again, just a silly analogy to help us with positive and negatives. So this would be like 7 bad guys joining up with 12 bad guys, and now we have 19 bad guys. Here, this is like being $3 in the hole in your checking account, and then you put 15 in. Or another possibility, if the temperature in the winter is 3 degrees below 0, and then it rises 15 degrees, now it is 12 above. In this 4th example, we need to get common denominators before we can add these fractions. So we think 9 and 3, what do they both go into? Now they both go into the number 900, but I like to use the smallest denominator I can because that makes life a little easier. And 3 and 9 both go into 9. That means I don't even have to change this second fraction. It just stays 13/9. So to review how to change a fraction, if you multiply the bottom times a number, which we did, we multiplied this times 3 to get the 9, you must do the same thing to the numerator or you will have destroyed your fraction. 2 times 3 is 6, and this negative sign, it could be sitting out in front, it could be sitting, I usually put it in the numerator because we have to use it, and as long as it's somewhere in the fraction, we're fine. And so now we need to take this negative 6 plus 13, and we get 7, and just keeping the denominator the same. We would reduce that if possible, but that is already in lowest terms. The last thing to look at in this section is the properties of addition. The commutative property, the one-word definition that we can use is the order. In other words, the order doesn't matter when you're adding 2 numbers. If you added 2 numbers, a plus b, you would get the same answer if you switched the order and added b plus a. The associative property, a one-word definition, is grouping. If you're adding 3 numbers and you add these 2 numbers first, a and b, and then add c to it, the associative property says you would get the same answer if you changed the grouping and added b and c first, got that answer, and then added a. The additive identity, any identity property is where the number stays the same. You are not changing it. So if you had the number b, what could you add to it that would not change it? And right here we learn 0 is the additive identity. So b plus 0 equals b. Pretty impressive. Then the additive inverse says that when you add a number to its opposite, you get 0. So when we add a to negative a, we get 0. Therefore, a and negative a are opposites of each other. So like the opposite of negative 7 is positive 7, and so on. All right, that's all you need for information to do section 1 of, section 3 of chapter 1. Have fun with that.